All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It is Monday, June 16th. We got game number 5 of the NBA Finals. In today's video, I'm going to dive into this game. I'm going to give you my prediction on the side. I'll give you my prediction on the total. We'll talk about any other plays like player props that we like within the game as well. I believe I have 2 as of right now to share with you guys. But as always, guys, keep an eye down on the pinned comment of this video. It'll take you to all of my final plays, so I'm actually rolling with myself. If that does interest you, if you do want to fade me, all of that is going to be free down in the pinned comment. All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. I tell you guys I'm a dummy all the time. They don't suck. They've just been sucking. Get them down to -3 for more juice than Jose Canseco in his prime. Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. So don't go jumping down my throat in the comments, right? If you want to fade me, or if you do want to ride me, this still leaves a bad taste in my mouth, right? And remember, more chins, more wins. Last time you guys saw me, we had a 0-1-1 night. Luckily, we got that Siakam 0.5 units on the 20 because he ended with 20 points, so that was a push. Chet Holmgren, 2 games in a row. We've lost taking his under in rebounds. I almost want to pull the trigger on it again, but I don't think that we're going to get there. We do have 2 player props to share with you later on in the video. Chet Holmgren not being one of those because I am scarred by him, but hopefully we can do a little bit better. We have had a decent finals run, but obviously the playoffs are going to be tough. Margin's going to be thin, so we're doing the best we can out here. But let's go ahead and talk about this game. Hit that like button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. In game number 4, we saw an absolute comeback from OKC. Maybe Pacers, choking, if you want to call it that. 31-17 is pretty much what I'm addressing in the fourth quarter, which when the Pacers have won, we've seen that sort of inverse with them winning the fourth quarter. I would say that this is a spot in which 9.5 seems like a pretty big number. Now, I'm a little bit conflicted, and it'll make sense why once I go through these picks. I do think the Pacers plus 9.5 has some value on it. They keep games close. We've seen that so far in this series, right? But I also don't mind the Pacers team total under. Now, if we like the Pacers to cover and their team total under, why isn't it just an automatic look at the full game under? Well, that's where things, like I said, get a little bit confusing. The Thunder are back home. They have the opportunity here right in front of them to take momentum of this series, and I don't necessarily deny the idea or dismiss it of them coming out here and just absolutely dropping a massive number. So yes, it's a little confusing. The plays aren't necessarily correlated, meaning Pacers plus 9.5 and their team total under, and I still don't really like the full game under because of the chance that the Thunder can come out there and do that. So I guess I would say Pacers team total under, then the plus 9.5 if I had to rank them. We've already seen the Pacers so far in this series struggle to the line. I think right now 108.5. It's as low as it's been in this series, but they are on the road, so I do get it. But game number 1, they scored, 111, right? Almost had no business scoring 111. They come back in the freaking... I mean, Halliburton did it again, right? Game number 2, they only scored 107. Game number 3, they scored 116, but that was with wasn't the 35-point fourth quarter, right? So an absolute comeback. They had a 40-point quarter as well in there. And then obviously game number 4, we saw that. Only 17 points in the fourth quarter, 104 scored. Now, what I would say about that 17, it's kind of, I guess what makes up for it is a 35-point first quarter. So yeah, they played consistent basketball there. We did just see some good Thunder defense, and the Thunder, who do like to run, have been able to slow it down at times. So I think Pacers team total under is something that we'd consider here. I guess if I had to pick a flat total on whether it's over or under the full game, I'd still go under, but there is that potential that this Thunder team just says, all right, you know what, we're back at home, and this is our time to take control of the series, because it kind of seems like they've been in the passenger seat for this series, always coming from behind, always having to, win this game so they don't go down further in the series. This could be the time when it changes, and it'd make a lot of sense, right? So Pacers team total under, but I really don't love the idea of the Thunder having to win by 10 here. In terms of player props, let's go ahead and dive into those here. Before we do, let me talk to you about Sleeper. They have a ton of promos live in the app right now. Let me pull it up. First and foremost, new users will get this J-Dub, Jalen Williams 0.5 points line, and their first deposit matched up to $100. But check this out. We did it in the baseball video, and I was just as surprised as you guys. They have so many deals going on right now. So 30% boost right now. You can see it right in the middle of my screen. Right here, Sandy Alcantara, baseball, strikeout line, boom, boost. Alternate line, I should say. A Miles Turner, 2x on his multiplier. Oh, would you look at that? Aaron Judge, a discounted line and a higher multiplier. And then also TJ McConnell, they've boosted him as well. They have a ton of promos live in the app right now. They're doing it more in this NBA Finals than anyone else out there. And it's a big reason why they are one of, if not my favorite, DFS player prop app out there. How do you sign up? Go check out the link down in the description, as well as the pinned comment, or just use code GUYBOSTON when signing up. Take advantage of all that. If you like player props, you're missing out and not taking advantage of all of these promos that Sleeper is dropping. That's why we love these DFS apps, right? Because of the promos and the little, boosts and stuff that they do that we don't get on normal sportsbooks as often. Check it out, guys. That link will be down below in the description, as well as the pinned comment. All right, let's dive into Outlier here because we have a couple player props that we like as of right now. But like I say, as always, keep an eye on the final plays. Pinned comment will take you there. Everything we talk about right now is something that I like and what I'm looking at, but we do kind of do, I would say, double the amount of research throughout the day before we do lock these in. We are talking about real money here, you know what I mean? So make sure to keep an eye on that. But first one's going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander under 6.5 assists. Now, looks pretty good, right? Especially in this series, you could see here, look at his potential assists, 11, 5, 15, 7, and 8, not trending in that direction. My concern here is the minute we flip this to home games, so you could see not all that crazy, averaging 6 assists, right, so far in the last 10 games. You flip it to home, all of a sudden, he's been crushing this. I mean, yes, in this series, he's just 1-1. We only have 4 games, but how about the games against Minnesota at home, right? Or the games against Denver at home? His potential assists are up as well. 15.2 potential assists, last 10 at home. Last 10 in general, just 12.9. So that's kind of what scares me off of it. But I do think that, I already kind of referenced it. This is a time when the Thunder can kind of take advantage of this series and put the momentum in their direction, shove it in that direction. I don't think Shai does that by passing the ball, so I do consider his under 6.5 assists. You could see plethora of odds here. Looks like DK, some really good value compared to some of the other books out there. Minus 130, minus 135. So yeah, I do like this spot for Shai. Again, the potential assists are what I'm really liking. I'm just a little concerned because those are at home. Now, if we look at him on the road, on the season, 12.6 potential assists. At home, that thing jumps down, to 12.5. So the playoffs have been a little bit different. It's not like he's been sitting here and having way more high assist games throughout the season. You know what I mean? It really hasn't been that. That's the same when you look at it in the last 13.5 potential assists, right? Right around 14, so a little bit more just in general. So on the season, when he has been at home, he's actually had less potential assists, but in the playoffs so far, it has been going up a little bit, by like 15 compared to 12. So there's some hesitation there. I like to give you guys both sides of it. Still definitely something that I'm considering, because even at the very least, we could say, well, this is just not consistent, right? Like, it's not consistent assists outputs. The next one, we've been looking at this all series long, and I think that we've had a really good beat on the pulse. We've taken, so far in the playoffs, multiple Siakam overs and multiple Siakam unders. Now, you're getting minus 120 on Caesars MGM. You can see FanDuel minus 130, Novig minus 130, DraftKings minus 122, all sort of in the same ballpark, but definitely the best price right now. I don't mind his under. Yes, he cashed it 2 games in a row so far in this series, but much like Shai, there are important things to note with his home-away splits. By the way, guys, Outlier, link down in the description, 7 days free. If you like the tool that I'm using, it's great on the phone, on the tablet, anywhere. This is my favorite player prep research tool. Look at him on the road here. Only 3 times in his last 10, that's dating back to the Milwaukee series, has he gone over. He's averaging 19.5, but yeah, that's because he scored 39 points in this spot right now. I will say, the minutes, say we peg him, so far in this series, in terms of his minutes played, I do think this is fairly important to note. So minutes played so far in this series, right? 35, 29, 32, and 35. So if we say he's not going to play more than 35, which he definitely can, but he's yet to in this series, the numbers, so 35 or less, right? The numbers start to end on the road and on the season. This is what I want to look at. He's hit the under in 58, almost 60% of his games on the road this year. So the minutes are very, very important because 52%, 31 of 60 when it's just overall in the season. You filter that to away, it's a massive jump, right? So, and also look at his last 10 on the road. How about that? That probably shows it pretty well too when he plays less minutes. Averages 18.7. So I do think situationally this is a good spot, and especially if the Thunder's defense is going to play well, I think that this is a guy that they can kind of key in on. Even him, last game in which he scored 20 points, get rid of all these filters now. When he scored 20 points, right? His field goal percentage, 40%. Like, I'll take 40% from Siakam. He's a 52% scorer on the season. He shot 10 points below, just ultimately ended up, scoring more points than we had the under for. We had the under 20. He hit 2 threes. He hadn't hit 2 threes in this series so far. So I do think that there's a way for him to get to that under. If he has an 8, I'm not saying he scores 12 points, but I like the idea of him scoring, maybe 16, 17, 18. Now, like I said, we've taken his under plenty of times and he's burned us, but we've also taken his over a few times and cashed it too. So we have a decent sense on Siakam, and I don't think it's ever like a runaway, except for the time we took his under, and I think he had his highest point total of the playoffs. So, yeah, there's that. But I do like both of those unders today. We might add anything. If we add anything with the final play, guys, I'll make sure to give a little blurb on the website as to why we like it, just so you kind of have my reasoning and rationale if you do like it, if you want to ride, or if you do not like it and like the reasoning and you do want to fade. But all that will be free down in the pinned comment. Appreciate you guys spending some time with me. We'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.